Hello guys, welcome to Frugal Reefer. I wanted to do an update on my tank. Talk about a huge aptasia outbreak that I had. Had quite a few things happen. Lost some corals due to some stings. Some are recovering really well. Had to get rid of a problematic fish and suffered from some RTN and STN, all of which are mitigated for the most part, except the aptasia. The aptasia I have reduced significantly. It's a lot of work. I finally got a foul fish to help somewhat. He has completely cleared the first boomy with of most of the aptasia. I mean, I can't see any, which is the way I like it. I'm sure there's some there, but the coral behind this midnight acro that you're looking at in the forefront is a postelpore that was stung, and at the base of it you can see, but it's recovering and growing. But this midnight acro, luckily, thankfully, which is probably my favorite coral in the tank, was missed. It didn't, fingers crossed, didn't get touched by any of the aptasia. I manually destroyed or removed most of the other aptasia. The same with this Garf Bunzai. It, which is a frag of the larger one that you saw in the background there. It didn't get touched, but it was close, and I was lucky enough to get the aptasia before it did. Neither did this. What is it? Oh, the name of the coral slips on my mind now. Wow. Tub stellata, sorry. It also was lucky enough not to get touched. This PC Rainbow is probably, this one, I have two in the tank, is probably my favorite. I love the color shifts on it, from, with the orangish, reddish, pinkish tips and the green, the yellow. This Foxfire did suffer a little, but seems to be fully recovered. It's even spreading out at the base more. It's growing, and it's even getting the yellow tip at the top. That's starting to show. At the time of this video, it's just a little bit. Now it's more pronounced at the top. This is another PC Rainbow. You can see that middle part there where it was touched, but both parts now are recovering and growing. Hopefully it'll grow together. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's hope. I still don't know the name of this acro to be sure, but you can see down at the base on one side there it was touched, but it's back, it's growing. It stayed closed up for a good bit of time, but it's got the polyps out and flowing now. The same with this acan. Lost several heads, went down to one, the big one on the top, but it survived and is nice and plump and fluffy, not sucked in and bright orange anymore, and has on one side produced a head, and on the side you're looking at now there are two heads directly underneath. One's directly underneath it, the other one's just a little bit out from under. So it seems to be recovering. It's nice and fleshy and plump, looking the way it's supposed to look. So I'm hoping that will continue. This is one shot of the tank, I think just before peak. And it's doing well for the most part. All the corals are doing well. I had some bouts with RTN and STN. I did lose a couple of frags. They were newer frags that I placed in. They did well for a couple weeks, and then I don't know what was going on. I thought maybe it might have been the leather in there. I've heard that some acros don't like them. They don't do well in tanks with them. I don't know how true that is, but some are sensitive to, what they put out into the water sometimes when irritated, or just naturally, like when they shed and things like that. So picked up the current, added some larger J-bow pumps that sit at the rear. They were kind of a lower budget clone of the MP40, but they're pretty powerful. And I've seen videos saying that they were loud. You can hear them, but they're not that bad. I don't know if mine is a newer version, but I did notice that one, I got them at different times. One came with an additional rubber mount. The other one didn't. It only had the one on the outside, but not on the inside. The one on the other side has one for the inside and the outside. It could have been a manufacturing issue. I don't know. But and there are some difference in their design too, slightly different. So I'm thinking I might have gotten two different progressions of the same pump. So one model from a year might be different from another, but they do really well. They move a lot of water, quite a bit, pretty powerful. For what they do, I had 3 SOW20s, I believe, 20s or 30s, that had to move the amount of water just 2 of them do, and that's still not even at full power. So they do really well. They move water pretty good. This is a shot of the tank. As the lights are going down, there's the midnight acro again. I can't find pictures of this thing as a large colony yet, but if it's going to look like that the entire time, I'm all for it. I love that deep purple fading into a purplish reddish color at the base with the bright green highlights. That is such a cool looking acro to me. So I'm hoping it look, I'm whatever it's going to do, I'll be happy with it. But if it keeps that color and that look, I'm really going to be happy with it. So anyway, if you've noticed the difference in how my tank is, I've made 3 rock formations instead of just the one continuous like I had before. And I think then I progressed to one large setup on one side, and then a small, and then this one boom in the front. And now there are 3 separates, and I did that for a reason, because I wanted separate corals not to be around other corals. So, because if they touch them, they're gonna, there's gonna be a problem. So, I put certain corals in certain places to keep that from happening. And this configuration I thought was best for me. Surprising, those Captain Jerks on the side right there, they haven't spread beyond that. When I first got them, they were huge. They had taken up one whole side of a rock formation that I'd made. But I removed those, much of those, and those grew back in that spot, and they seem to like it there. I think the flow is just right. I'm sure one day they're going to just decide, they want more, and I'll just have to do what I did again, which is, remove them and scale them back. But for now, they seem to be right there. I look at it quite often, and they don't seem to move. That Favia back there was, I believe that's what it is, bleached when I got it a while back. And for 7-8 months, it stayed bleached. It didn't, it didn't die. It wasn't, it would still it would look like it's looking now. It just wouldn't, it was just pale pinkish color with a slight green highlight on the edges. And I thought, maybe it was just going to stay like that. I was going to keep it, but finally, all of a sudden, it started getting color. So the the inside where the mouth part is like an icy blue, and the rest of the coral is sort of a brown color, or there's highlights of red and purple in it too. So it's pretty cool. I like it. And it's growing. It's actually growing up the side of the rock that it's sitting against and attaching, so that's a good sign. That Siliconello up there just continues to spread. It helped me, or it helped itself, better yet. I didn't know they had sweeper tentacles, and those tentacles pretty much took out all of the aptasia that were closing in on it. They're gone. They're gone, or at least have recessed to the point where they don't want to be anywhere near those sweeper tentacles. The copper band is doing great, feeding well, going around, and he's always spotting something to swoop in and snatch up. He began eating really well like the next day that I got him. And that's one thing I was worried about. Is I've heard that sometimes they won't eat for days, and then the next day they're gone, But this one made it. This is the other PC rainbow. It's doing well. As you can see across that midsection again, it was stung, but both halves seem to be recovering, polyps out, and growing pretty well. This is again, this video is from another day. As you can see, the coral was sitting down there because I was in the process of trying to find a place for it while moving the corals around after all the aptasia situation. I wanted to make sure I put it in a spot that it could get plenty of light, grow, plenty of flow, and not be anywhere that I do see still any aptasia. This coral I do not know the name of. I've seen plenty of pictures of corals that look a lot like it. All have different names. Some have no name. But it's developed the green like tips on some of the at the end of the core lights there. So I don't have a name for it, but it's growing. Started out just 3 little nubs, and now it's looking like that. It's doing really well. Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Have a better one.